This is lecture 1, kind of an overview of why this stuff's important. Okay. All right. Y'all ever heard of the Stuxnet virus? Do you know who made that virus?
Israel and the United States.
Right. It was a combo effort between Israel and the United States. They used 4, at that point, unknown zero-day vulnerabilities. And yeah, it's crazy stuff that this stuff actually happens, okay? So we got a scenario, you know, kids are out of school, power outages, airlines knocked off, exchange goes down, email failures, 911 systems go down. All this happened in 1997 via an NSA simulation that didn't hit the final button, but they proved it could be done. Okay. Dr. Schnoy took his students up to, Maryland? Somewhere near Maryland. They have a brand new tri-state 911 system. They asked his students to come and analyze this system. Within very short amount of time, they were able to break into the system. And the way they proved that they broke into the system was they changed all the backgrounds in all the computers at the University of Tulsa logo. The way they got in was the help file. The help system, they didn't secure it. And they were able to get in, run an exploit, get a command line, and they were into the system at that point. So, I mean, who would think going in through help? So, yeah, this all happened, okay? We're vulnerable. Everybody wants our money. Everybody wants us. We have our way of life. You know, so it says we have the largest infrastructure. 65% of the world's infrastructure is here. I mean, think about it. The internet started here. Okay, so a lot of stuff's going on here. We're open. We pretty much let everybody in, especially if you live in California. They just let everybody in. Okay. Military spending. I mean, we spend more than everybody else nearly combined. Look at that. A lot of money we spend. Okay. Cyber attacks. China has recognized the importance of cyber operations as a tool for warfare. China, I mean, I forget the name of the dudes, but there's so many China people that are actually trained in cyber. Here's one of the pictures from one of their training systems. You literally could put in the IP address of the system, and from the drop-down list, select which exploit you want to run against it, and just say go. And the buttons at the bottom say attack. So pretty amazing stuff out there. Okay. If you think about it, everything is made in China. Y'all notice that? I mean, I was at a conference put on by NSA, DOD, and all them in Tampa, Florida. And they gave us these, you know how when you go to conference, you get stuff. Well, they gave these, it was a tape measure you could put on your belt that had a pencil, that had some Post-it notes on the front. It was just a little thing. Right there. How do we know it doesn't have something embedded in it? Okay. Dr. Schnoy's students have found multiple ATMs that, when shipped from the manufacturer, already had skimmers built in under the board. You know, a lot of times you see on the news where they find skimmers on top, but these are actually built into the actual machine themselves in the manufacturing process. Scary stuff. And if that's not enough, they can make snow there now. So they make everything in China. So, all right. So what makes America economically invited? We have the largest middle class. We make more money here in a lot of places. Okay. I mean, I take a lot of cruises, and majority of the cruise employees are non-U.S. citizens because we pay so much. I mean, they make nothing over there. Okay. It says 350 million people, 250 are middle to upper class. Okay.
Right. And that's the one thing about attacks from China. They have rooms full of people.
That's all they do.
Hacking.
Yeah. They have classes just on that. See, we can do defensive security. We can defend ourselves. Mm-hmm. We can't go on the offensive side.
Yeah, back tracing, it's hard to do.
It's kind of illegal. But China, they train that way. And how do you prevent against that? Okay, we got insiders, script kiddies. I mean, there's so much stuff. You can go on Google and find vulnerabilities and scripts to exploit them so easily. Look at Metasploit. If you take a security auditing course, you will use Metasploit. There's so many, I mean, vulnerabilities built into the tool. You literally just connect to the IP and just take it over. It's crazy. Organized crime. Everybody has computers nowadays. We had the FBI van out here about 2 years ago, and I had asked the guy that ran the FBI van, how many mobile devices compared with computer hard drives has he analyzed? And I think it was like 8 months since he got back. He said he analyzed about 4,000 mobile phones and 1 hard drive in 8 months. Because we're doing everything on this. Okay. I gave my stepdaughter a MacBook Pro. She asked me last night, do you have a clue where that is? Because I need to write a paper. I don't have a clue. I haven't used it in like a year. Because she does it all on her phone. So, I mean, everything's going to this. So you know criminals have them as well. Hostile governments, and yes, we are hostile as well. Okay. All right, we're vulnerable. They talked about the Gulf War, the Dutch hacker stole information. And the funny thing was, they thought it was fake. He was trying to sell information to Iraqis, but the Iraqis were like, nah, there's no way that's real, but it actually was real. I mean, look what we got. We got Edward Snowden. We got Bradley Manning. We got all this stuff going on, all these people stealing information. Okay. In 1997, 1998, hired a couple California teenagers to break into computer systems. It's just crazy what stuff's going on. iPhone jobs aren't coming back to the U.S. Why would they make, okay, why are they making iPhones in Right. They work, and you know, I literally read multiple books about the iPhone, and they were talking about how there's no country where you could come up with a change in the last 48 hours before something ships, and they could implement that change within 48 hours. Can you imagine doing that here in the U.S.? People would work 20-hour shifts, go home for an hour or two, come back and work another 20-hour shift. I mean, we couldn't do that here. And so that's why they're never coming back. Some stuff is coming back, but not a lot. Not a lot. So, okay. It says within 96 hours, the plant was produced over 10,000 iPhones a day. So it's just crazy what they do. Okay. Cell phones. Android is now the worst platform for malware. It says Apple iOS unaffected by malware as Android surges above 76%. Why is that? Why is Android getting affected in iPhone 9? What?
Well, part of it's open source as well.
Right. It's open source. See, Google makes the Android platform. Then they provide it to manufacturers. They provide it to Samsung, LG, and all these. So at that point, Google's done. It's up to Samsung and LG to update, because Google does update their software, but the problem is Samsung doesn't update theirs. They don't fix hardware vulnerabilities. What they say, the percentage of people that actually update their Android phone is like low 30s. Because they can't. Their phones, Roy's phone is a year old, and he can't get the latest one that's coming out. Okay? My iPhone 6, my daughter's using, still gets updates. And when was the iPhone 6 out? What, 6 years ago, I think? Something like that. What now? Yeah, I mean, they work fine. I got an iPhone 4 that still works. I mean, the deal is also the way apps get on there. Yeah, Apple's not great, but it just works. My mother-in-law had a Samsung phone, and it was pain. She could never figure it out. Always had issues with it. When she moved in with us, I said, no, we're switching to iPhone. She's had no problems since then. Literally zero problems, because it just works. The only issue she has, she can't remember her 4-digit code to get in it. Solved that. I made her background the 4-digit code. So if you ever see her phone, you're set, because the background is actually the 4-digit code. Well, there was nothing else I could do. I'm like, she could not remember it from day to day. It's like,
I was kind of the one
That reminds me of my friend did. What he did is he got the passcode where it's like the entire keyboard.
Yeah.
And the passcode was just spacebar.
oh, nice. That's crazy. All right. Adoption rates. I mean, 89% adopted iOS 9. And look at Marshmallow, 24%. Lollipop, 37%. So it's so low at the adoption rate compared to.
I was so upset when they stopped Windows phones.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people really liked them. And it was actually a good phone.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
And they were scared.
Yep. All right, mobile platforms. So, it's changing what we have out there. Less than 1% iPhone, BlackBerry, and all them back then. So, all right. Which is the most secure, iPhone versus Android? Well, Apple iOS. Again, I didn't write this. I just found the articles. Their walled garden works better than their open garden. In other words, you can't just put something out on the iPhone unless you jailbreak it. Makes sense. Okay. Whereas the Android, you put whatever you feel like. Okay. Now, does anyone know the way you could put whatever you want on your iPhone? You can actually develop it yourself, because you can have up to 20 devices on your developer account, and you can put whatever you want on it. But again, you can't publish it to the world. You're restricted to those 20 people unless it goes through Apple's plans there. Okay. Still not immune to spam. About a year and a half ago, there was that deal where if you send a specific text message to an iPhone, it would turn it off. And a friend sent me one and turned my phone off. So I know it can happen, but it's just not as susceptible. Okay. Cyber targets, internet, telephone, wireless networks. I mean, we all have wireless at home, don't we? Oh, it was funny. My sister-in-law and her family went to visit her husband's parents up in Wichita. This is like 2 months ago. So they're going there, husband, wife, and their 2 kids. That family had no Wi-Fi. And the kids had iPads. And that's what they like to do. They sit there and watch and play on their iPads. They had no Wi-Fi at all, and they were freaking out. They were like 4 days. What are the kids going to do? There's no Wi-Fi. And I guess the dad only watched sports. You know, kids aren't going to be in sports. So it was crazy. But, you know, power grids, dams. We have a movie called Zero Dark 30. We're going to watch it one of these times at a cyber meeting time period. But it's all about the Stuxnet virus. It's amazing. There's a book out there called 0 Days, which is amazing as well. But that's about the same thing. Banks, computer systems, military, state, local governments, all this stuff is vulnerable. Okay, electronic assets. So an intruder must be expected to use any available means of penetration. Okay. One of Dr. Schnoy's students was doing an internship at the NSA. And this was on a weekend. He was up there working, and the doors shut when you go out. I mean, the motion lets you walk out, but then they shut. So he went out there to smoke a cigarette. And he came back into the lecture room, and the guy's like, how the hell did you get in here? He says, oh, you got an automatic sliding door. I just put a piece of paper between it and wiggled it. And the motion sensors thought it was motion and unlocked the door.
Yep.
And that's at the NSA. It's crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Okay. EMPs, we all seen Oceans, 11, 12, 13, whatever. They did the EMP. A little far-fetched, but it can actually happen. Okay. Software, data, people. I mean, you always hear the insiders are the #1 threat. Well, the problem is there's so much stuff we click on. We don't know what it is, and, you know, because we're just too darn gullible. Okay. The goals of security. Now, you will see this in this class, and this will positively be on your exam. Positively. These 3 words. Confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Okay. Confidentiality, assets are available only to those authorized. So if I don't give you permission, you can't see it. Okay? Integrity, hopefully it's as it should be, hasn't been modified by someone other than those allowed. And availability, we do everything on the internet. What happens when the internet goes down? We're having an availability issue at my house right now. My ice maker broke. We use a lot of ice in my house, and that's an issue when an ice maker breaks. I've literally removed it twice, tried to fix it, and it's still not working. So I have to go get another one. But still, confidentiality, integrity, and availability, very important. There's also a 4th one, non-repudiation, but we'll cover that one later. But these 3 are definitely positively on your test. Don't miss them. Do not select, what's the CIA place? What's the name for the CIA?
Central Intelligence.
Do not select Central Intelligence Agency. Someone does every time. I'm like, seriously? All right. Major threats. Interruption. Asset is lost, unavailable, or unusable when I need it. Okay. Interception. Someone intercepted it. Okay. They could be listening in on something. They could be tapping fibers. It's just, I'll tell you, read some of these books, you wouldn't believe some of the ways they get everything. Now, Google and Apple both did not want to supply data to the federal government. The federal government gets it anyway. How do you think they get it? Google, Apple, AT&T, they all connect to the internet, so they just capture it at the source where it connects. Sucks. Yes, AT&T, Verizon, all those give all your metadata from all your calls. They have for many years. They will continue. You don't know that? It's called Prism is the program that does it. It's just metadata, though. You know what that is. Okay. So, modification. Asset is tampered with in an unauthorized manner. Read this one here. It's pretty funny. Somebody broke into the phone system for the bad guys. It was the probation officer's phone. And when they dialed the number, it connected them to a 900 sex line instead of the probation officer's line. They went back to jail because they did not make the call, but they all probably thought it was fun. There's actually a number, it's like 1-800-GM-TRUCK. That is a line similar to that. That I can't believe they did. It was supposed to be GMC truck, but someone did GM truck because it was just shorter, and it's still out there today. You can call that number. But also fabrication. Asset is counterfeit. Someone could fake something. How do you know if it's something real? When I was reading that book about the iPhone, they talked about how right outside the Foxconn factory in China, you can go and get an iPhone. At that time when he was there, the guy, I think it was the iPhone 6 when the guy was there, he says you could get a fully working iPhone 6 made with the same parts for like $49. How are they possibly doing that? Well, think about it. All the parts ship in. And if for some reason the Foxconn or those people don't think they're up to snuff in some way, they're like, you've seen them like, oh, this piece of meat's got bad, whatever, and they throw it aside. Well, they do that with parts. Oh, this has got a speck on it or whatever, and they throw it aside. And these people outside the Foxconn and the flea market area buy all these parts they're throwing away and put the phones together. And they actually work. But is it guaranteed like Apple? No, because it hasn't gone through the quality checks, and they threw the part away. I used to work at a chicken farm years ago. I used to clean the whole chicken area, and there's something called candling. I don't know if you ever heard of it. You take an egg, put a bright light under it, and you can see inside the egg. And what you're looking for is like red dots. That's where the egg's starting to grow, and you want to get rid of it because you really just want the yolk and the white. But they would look at these coming through, and they would take the bad eggs as something growing in them and throw them away. But I don't take them all, feed them to my pigs. So can you imagine if they didn't do that? How many? My father-in-law, he actually has tons of chickens, and they sell eggs all the time. They didn't even know about this. It was about 2 months ago. I was over there, and I'm like, so do you ever check and see if your eggs are growing? I'm like, what? So we got the LED flashlight out, and sure enough, one of the eggs in the batch they were selling had a red thing starting to grow, which means the hen sat on it for too long, and it was fertilized, so it was starting to grow. So, funny stuff. But yeah, fabrication, it's counterfeit. Even if it's made from the correct parts, it wasn't made in the correct way. You don't ever buy an iPhone cable that's not Apple certified. They always fail. I don't know about you guys, but they always fail. Same with the headphones. They always fail. I don't know what to do with your iPhone. Yeah, this is not the correct cable. And it's like, they really I got an Amazon cable somehow at my house right now. We have a problem in my house. The good stuff keeps disappearing. It's either my mother-in-law or the kids or somebody, because the one on my nightstand right now is an Amazon charging cable for an iPhone. And it only works one way. Even though it's supposed to work both ways, no, it only works one way. If I put it in the other way, it goes, it's like it's trying to charge. So I need to find out who took my cable. Okay. Types of attacks. Malware, bots. I mean, just look at how they've been increasing in different areas. It's crazy what's going on. Okay, lots and lots of attacks. Web browser exploits. Laptop or mobile hardware theft. You all know Roy upstairs. Roy always carries his backpack with a Microsoft Surface in it that belongs to Rose State. He left it somewhere about 8 days ago. Hasn't found it. That's a darn $2,000 machine, or whatever it costs. I don't know what Surface costs, but Rose State bought it. He's got to come up with it. So there you go, laptop mobile device theft. Okay. All right, national trends. So cyber criminality is becoming more advanced and targeted. Obviously, they're getting more technology. Spelling error. The threat of digital espionage is increasing. Illegal use of internet for political reasons is growing. Everybody is vulnerable. I always tell people, if you haven't been hacked into yet, Either you don't know about it or it will be happening very soon. I got an email, then a call from our IT services, this is last semester, that someone had got into my cyber lab network remotely and was downloading credentials remotely. Someone was in using RDP and was stealing stuff. I'm like, okay, I said, first of all, we really don't have any credentials in there. I mean, we don't even put student IDs in there. I mean, it's not even real stuff. So I got to look, and I hung up on him, so I looked into it. I got to look, and I said, wait a minute, that's not me. Someone actually got into the main Rose network. So I called the guy back. I'm like, Jimmy, you might want to check that address. That's not me. That's you. He's like, what? What? I said, oh, shit, you're right. That's the main network. I'm like, yeah. Someone remotely was in the main Rose State network downloading credentials. I mean, what's that, semester ago? Maybe 2 semesters. It's crazy. If you don't know it, just, especially, I mean, I'm not saying any of you are bad guys. Imagine if you were. These computers have no firewalls on. I don't know why. They don't. Well, actually, these might, because now they're on Roy takes care of them. But it's crazy what's going on. Privacy is under pressure. There's a lot of stuff going on. Okay. IT security is becoming more difficult. Stuff changes every single day. Okay. Oh, it says many initiatives in IT security, but no coordination. That's one big issue. You know, everybody works on it separately. There's nothing coordinating anything. Cyberspace is on the rise, 5th largest domain. I mean, isn't Tinker the cyber whatever now? Cyber headquarters or something now, I think. So, it says we can't live without information and communications technologies.
Another problem with IT security is everybody who discovers a good way to protect themselves can't release it to anybody else.
They can't. Because, especially with the element of force on it. But look at the vulnerabilities on PCs. Now, you see who that came from? Kaspersky Labs. Anyone know who Kaspersky Labs is? It's an excellent antivirus program, by the way.
Yeah.
It's written by Russian hackers. It literally is. A Russian hacking organization wrote it. It's a great program. I mean, who else better to write an antivirus than a bunch of hackers? Literally, last year, the government finally decided, maybe we shouldn't be using their tool on government networks. So wasn't it last year they finally said no more Kaspersky?
Beginning of this year.
Was it beginning of this year? I can't believe it was there that long. I mean, it's crazy.
I know.
It's just crazy. All right. Okay. Top vulnerabilities by year. Obviously, it's growing. You know, the problem is finding some of these numbers. Getting new numbers is tough. Okay. Flash. You know, back when Steve Jobs said he was getting rid of Flash on iPhones, everyone goes, you're an idiot. But you notice it's pretty much gone now? Not totally, but it's pretty much gone. Okay. Wonder why. It's such a darn problem child right there. Okay. Oracle, Java. I mean, that one thing that drives me crazy is Java. They update every other week. Well, I'm glad they do because there's fixing problems, but for every one you fix, how many are you breaking? Don't know. Okay. Browsers. What's your favorite web browser? 2 Firefox. Is that it? No one else? Chrome. Okay, good. Chrome's winning. Okay. 2002, Internet Explorer was the popular child there. 2005, Internet Explorer was still popular, but Firefox is catching up. Still Chrome and no Chrome. Yeah, well, yeah, right there. We're separate back then. 2010, Firefox has taken over the world. Chrome and IE are neck and neck. 2011, Internet Explorer is dropping fast. Chrome is catching up to Firefox. You know, I used Firefox for a long time, but Firefox would force updates on you without even knowing about it, and all of a sudden something would work. Like, what the heck? Okay, December, Chrome took over the world. Again, that's from 2011 to 2012. Look at that. Chrome is taking over the world. Okay, still is. Still is. And still is. You might as well just throw away Firefox. It's done. Okay. I think I even got Bill Richards to switch to Chrome. So. All right. OS. I'm a little surprised that Windows 7 still has that many people. There's just lots of them out there. Windows XP. We still got people running Windows XP.
The reason why for a lot of that,
It's because of software.
it knows the hardware.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Hardware,
it's the
yeah.
hardware.
Yeah.
A lot of the companies can't afford.
I know
to take
for a long
upgrades.
time there was a bunch of ATMs that ran on Windows 3.1. That's all they could support. It wasn't updatable. So it's crazy. All right, mobile's on the rise. Look at that. 2014, it took over. I still like doing stuff on my computer, but some things I think work better on the mobile device now. So not everything. Okay, mobile is way up there compared to everything else. Tablets, I don't know. So, all right, why cyber attack? Well, it's cheap, readily available, remote. You can do it from your bedroom in your underwear. Symmetric attacks, diversity of attacks, massive force multiplier. You can rent a botnet now for nothing, pretty much. Okay, yeah, pure cyber attacks were not there, but now, I mean, imagine a 911 system and an earthquake all at the same time. So it's just crazy the amount of stuff that can happen. Okay. All right. Imagine Al Qaeda terrorists once again launch attacks on major cities. The San Francisco earthquake. Now imagine all this stuff happened when communication systems fail. So it can happen. How about voice over IP? I mean, the phone in this room is voice over IP. If you take CAIN, CAIN, and you hook it up to this thing, you can literally, it'll automatically capture every single phone call on there. I didn't even realize it, but it's actually a very handy feature. So it's amazing what you can do with voice over IP networks. Okay. SQL Slammer worm took over the network in 2003. Okay. Harm, it says, occurs when a threat is realized against a vulnerability. So you harm someone. Risk is the possibility, and the counter control is something we do to prevent it. Okay. There's a lot of different, what you call these, like vocabulary type things in here. You need some of them, not all, but they're all good to know. Now, I will tell you, these are on the test. Every one of these next methods of defense, they are positively on the test. Now, I will also tell you, your test is open handwritten notes. Okay? Open handwritten notes. Why am I doing handwritten notes instead of printed notes?
You could copy paste and print off.
Trust me, when I was at Tulsa, I started off there with a laptop, taking notes on my laptop. But then, what do you think happened? You get distracted. So, he mentioned something, so I'm going to go look it up on the internet real quick. Next thing you know, you're checking your email and blah, blah, blah. So I started handwriting everything. And I tell you, it made a major difference. So literally, every single slide here has the answers you need. They're all on these slides. And you can literally bring them all with you as long as they're handwritten.
If you multiple piece of paper, it's one piece of
You can have 85 sheets of paper like here. No, all on a 3x5. Yeah. I mean, literally, I think Christina had a 3-ring binder. It was full. It was tons of crap. Like, oh my God. Right? I mean, don't understand. I want you to learn this, and by handwriting, you might actually learn it. But they're timed. It's kind of quick time limit, so you've got to be able to do it quickly, so you need to know what's on. Okay. So principle is adequate protection. Computer items must be protected only until they lose their value. Okay, so I got this here remote control from NEC. Got any value right now? I would say yes, because I control the projector with it. It might only be $30, but it has some value. Well, in about 10 years from now, I'm assuming that projection will be gone. But what if this remote's still sitting here on the desk? Does it have any value at that point? It's paperweight. But really only protect stuff as long as you need to. I used to be what's called an ADP custodian when I was in the military. Automated data processing equipment. In other words, electronics. And I remember once computers starting getting popular in the mid-90s. Remember those old IBM Selectric typewriters? They had a ball in them. When you would type, it would the ball would jump and type the letters for you. I know some of you are young, probably never seen one. But they're about $3,000 each. And every office had one, because that's what everybody used. So, but as we started getting computers, what do you think happened to the typewriters? They're gone. Well, people were throwing them away. They came to me and they're like, well, you're in charge of ADP, and we did an inventory, and all the typewriters are gone. Somebody was like, no, those are $3,000 a piece. Whose paycheck they coming out of? So we had to go to the kernel. We had to prove that they no longer had value. Because, I mean, yeah, they shouldn't have been thrown away. But are they really worth $3,000? So it's that whole adequate protection kind of thing. Effectiveness. Controls must be used and used properly to be effective. They must be efficient, ease of use, and appropriate. So we have locks on every one of these doors in this building. I would tell you that 25% of the time, if you walked into this building first thing in the morning, those doors are unlocked. That main office, which I don't even have a key to, is open probably 10% of the time. We have locks, but people don't do it. Now, I bet it's the same way with Charles. I lived on base for a while. But it's funny, because when I moved off base, when I retired, I had to pay money because I had no keys. Because I lived on a military base. I never locked my doors. Never. I mean, we have cops patrolling the streets. You're in a very safe environment. I never locked my house. So literally, when I moved off, I had to pay for all the keys because we hadn't seen them in 7 years. Yeah.
Last year we had a guy on base. Someone actually broke into his house and stole stuff.
Wow.
Because he left his stuff, his doors unlocked.
Wow. So maybe it's getting worse
It's
now.
changed.
But back then, I mean, it was, heck, my neighbors would call me, hey, Ken, we're so-and-so. Can you run over to our house and do something? I'd run over and do it for them. It's like, it was always unlocked, but things changed. So, okay. All right. So if you're using something, it must be used correctly. Okay. Principle of weakest link. Security can be no stronger than the weakest link. I don't know if you've ever seen that show. Some of you young kids probably never seen it. But, I mean, we have all this stuff, but we leave, one vulnerability unpatched or unprotected, you're kind of screwed. Okay. And there's more of those to come. But okay. Some of the different controls. Encryption, software, hardware, physical, policies, and procedures. I am not a policy procedure type person. I hate policies and procedures. But are they important? What do you think?
Yes.
So what if we had no password policy? So if there was no policy, what would everybody choose for the password?
Password.
No password.
Either no password or 134. I mean, the word password is the #2 most common password in the world right now. I mean, that's crazy. Why are people still using the word password? It's nuts. It's easy, exactly.
It's easy to remember.
Right. And physical control, I mean, I have an alarm in my house. I paid for an alarm system. I locked the darn house and I turned on the alarm. But now that my mother-in-law's living there, half the time she can't figure out the damn alarm, sets the stupid thing off, so we don't set it as much as we did before. So, that's not a good thing. And it's like I have cat doors. This kid's small enough, he could probably fit right through them. So that's a security problem as well, okay? So a bunch of different controls. Effectiveness. First of all, you need to be aware of the problem. If someone reports it to you, obviously you should say something, okay? Likelihood of use. So, hey, I noticed they leave the doors unlocked every morning at X time. What's the chance someone might check it, okay? What if they have overlapping controls? That's a good idea. We do. We have door locks and security that checks the doors every hour. Okay? That's what they do. Sunday morning, I was here about 8:30. Actually, I walked in with a security guard. That was right about 8:30. And he found it was Jeff's door. The second door was unlocked, and one more door was unlocked. Now, that's Sunday morning about 8:30. Someone has been checking them every hour since Friday. How? If they checked those doors every hour since Friday, don't you think they would have found those 2 doors unlocked? Because Jeff didn't come in all weekend. So luckily we have overlapping controls, but sometimes they're not great. Okay? And periodic review. Things change. Things change all the time. Okay? Okay, technical challenges, complex evolving systems. Things change so stinking much. That's why I'm weary to buy stuff, because I want the cool stuff. But it's like, Wednesday will be something newer. Or tomorrow or this afternoon will be something newer. It's like.
But you also know don't get it as soon as technology hits the market.
Yes, because sometimes it sucks. Okay. Theoretical limitations. Okay. Theoretically, I can give you a 30-character password that'll take 10 undecillion years to break. So theoretically, you're not going to break that password. But does that mean no one can ever break that password? Theoretically, they can't. But they can sooner or later, okay? It says complete security is a holy grail. Is there any way to totally keep this computer secure right here? unplug it, probably wrap it in plastic in a bag, put it in a safe, lock it up in Fort Knox.
Bury it, and then
But then something's gonna happen. It's gonna get crushed or something. But then we get rid of the whole entire availability thing. I mean, now we can no longer use it. So what the heck good is it? So. Law and policy challenges. Law is always playing catch up. What's happening in October this year? We can finally have real beer in Oklahoma. And the marijuana thing, they are still trying to work out the rules for the marijuana thing. So the rules always follow. That's a prime example. We got this new bill saying now we can amend it for marijuana, but now we have to make the rules to enforce it. Okay? So law and policy, they never keep pace. It's always playing catch up. Okay? Okay, it says investigation and enforcement are difficult. Last time I talked to the Midwest City Police Department, whenever they had a computer crime, it just got sent to OSBI, and it took them about a 9-month turnaround on any case. Can you imagine if it was your child that something happened to, and they said, oh yeah, we'll get back with you in 9 months? That would suck. Okay, deregulation issues, things change. What about now people can break into your computer from Russia? Who are you going to go after? You're going to go after Russians? Probably not. Shrink wrap versus open source software, which one's better? I hear both. Microsoft's good, Mac is good, Linux is good. I mean, they're all good and they're all bad. Okay? And our economic policy, that's changing massively. Okay. Personal challenges. The IT industry needs about 1 in 10 employees to be trained in cybersecurity. Glad you all are here. It says the government is deficient in 100,000 IT professionals. It's probably higher than that now. Okay? There's fewer than 200 professors. Terry Byers, some of you know Terry Byers. He's gone. He left. He left literally in the summertime. They started offering him double his salary. Then it continued to go up. I think he got 3 times his salary. I'm Tinker at a contractor that's actually out of Ohio. He's working on the new bomber. I think the company's called Tech G. I think he's making a little over $200,000. Yeah. And they've already told me double my salary. I told our dean, I said, the only reason I'm still here is because I like my hours. Even though I work a lot, but I like to be able to say, you know what, Thanksgiving week I'm off. And this I'm off, and this I'm off. So I took my wife to Universal Studios once. Bad idea. This is in Florida. She's a Harry Potter fan.
Yeah.
Oh my God. She's been there, 4 or 5 times now? We're going for 9 days in November to Harry Potter Land. She is so, we had a cruise planned, but I said, what if we cancel the cruise? And we go back to Universal. Oh, really?
Oh, so you're
face lit up, and
in
she's
December then?
What now?
I thought you were going on a cruise in December.
We were going to cruise in November.
Oh, November.
Right, we were. But I mentioned, because she's been to Universal December, June, and July. It's already been 3 times this year. So I asked her if she wants to go in November, and actually she said yes. So we're going there. But, I mean, that's the only reason I'm here is because I can do that stuff if I want to. Okay. And this last one, fewer kids are considering careers in science and engineering.
Yeah.
Everybody keeps telling me, I bet some of you, I can't do math. That's fucking crap. You can do math. You're choosing not to do math. Okay? You're choosing not to do math. Everybody can do math. You just don't practice. Practice math instead of Instagram, and you'll be a genius. I keep telling my daughter. She was sitting there, the self-study for the ACT, that just doesn't work for her. I said, well, obviously Instagram and Snapchat ain't working either because you're screwed up on the test. She looked at me like, so we know for sure that doesn't work. You didn't even try the self-test stuff. So. All right, defense and depth, managing risk, technology, law and policy, human capital. There's just a lot of stuff. Okay. This is actually a couple years old now. This is in the gym over here. I actually went to the locker room today, and at least I'm not doing that anymore. Now they put a note saying, please come to the person and talk to them. What they did was if you were faculty or staff and you wanted a locker, you went in there, picked your locker, took the sticky tab off, and that was your locker. I mean, that good or bad? So, it's scary stuff. Okay? Anyone use LastPass?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
That's good.
I actually had LastPass Premium forever until last month.
Oh, really?
But then I noticed the only reason I had the premium is because I could get the mobile app as well. Now that's included in the free. So I literally looked. I'm like, what does premium offer that free doesn't? Well, support. Okay, I've messaged you once in 4 years.
Yeah, I've been using free on everything.
What?
Do they do a difference? I was thinking about getting the premium. I mean, if it just
You don't
works,
need the
you don't
premium.
need
You
support.
get support and you get enterprise two-factor authentication. You still get two-factor authentication. You don't get enterprise level. Who cares? You don't have enterprise level.
That's it. Yeah.
Right. So I got rid of it. And I literally got an email the other day. Could you please tell us why you switched from premium to free? I'm like, your free now includes all the features I use. I mean, the one feature that it didn't include was synchronization with my mobile phone. But that's included now. So got there. So I got the free version now. Omega's gone. That one's gone now. But LastPass, if you don't have it, you need it. Because we all have, at least I have way over 200 websites. Way over. We cannot remember our passwords. If you tell me you remember all your passwords, you're lying to me. You got them written down somewhere. I was talking to one of Virginia's coworkers, and he's like, oh, no, I got mine all in the spreadsheet. Actually, even our associate dean in here. I got it in a spreadsheet at home. So if I break into your house, I get everything. Literally everything.
I worked out at Tinker doing computer repair. You know that from Virginia. But I don't know how many times I would be transferring data, and they've got an Excel spreadsheet.
Passwords.
Passwords.
No, it's crazy.
And I explained to them, that's good. It's helpful. Name it something different.
Yeah. But it's passwords. Yeah, I know it's crazy. Yeah. But I mean, you really, really, really need a password manager. If you don't have one, you need one. Because that means you're writing it down somewhere. So, all right. All right. That's the end of this lecture.